because I haven't moved the cages yet.
Hello and welcome.
Paris is watching.
Welcome to Coffee Bunny, brought to you by Randos.
Yeah. And their menageries.
And then their friends and their friends' menageries. Oh, we hope you pick for chaos because that is what we are serving.
Yeah, that's probably all I have left in my brain at this point. I had to have so much executive function today and yesterday and tomorrow that you are getting nothing but chaos from my brain. So thanks to Project Shadow for use of the song Pink.
There we go. One of us will fight it out.
For anyone who doesn't know, I volunteer with the Altitude Writing Conference, and it's amazing because like it's a free conference, and we've had some like best-selling authors, we've had like agents, we've had professional editors, and like we've had some like people with some good like credentials. I think that's what I want to say. That like partake in it and stuff, or like people that have been in the industry for decades in some cases. Hi, Spence.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's just it's a lot when like when you volunteer with it, it can be a lot.
Sure.
Especially when you're in considered one of the leadership. Like I'm not a leadership role, but I'm like an under leader. I'm an underboss in a way. Because I work directly under the recruitment chair.
Mm-hmm.
So like a couple of weeks ago is when I sent like 30 plus emails to people, and then a couple of days ago I sent more emails to follow up and stuff.
Yeah.
So and then like when we don't have a ton of mods, we need people to fill in those spots. So then that falls to like me and my co-coordinator and the recruitment chair and stuff. So like we try not to have the recruitment chair be a mod so that they can be in the other streams, because the chairs, so that's SD Houston, Devin, and Kaufman is the recruitment chair now. They try to bounce around the streams to find everybody. So, yeah. I mean, I learned a lot. I enjoyed like all of the ones I was able to actually like listen to and catch and stuff. Like, poor I think Danica from Publish Drive. I think that's the channel. She was actually on vacation. Like she like finalized the plans and stuff for this before her vacation was ever planned. So she was in Paris presenting. like this is not my normal setup. She's like, I can't do what I normally do and stuff. So she didn't notice because she had to be on a different screen.
Right.
To her presentation, she didn't know that her presentation didn't show up on the screen when she shared it. So we all just stared at a black screen, and I was like, this is okay with me. I mean, like, I feel bad because like she put effort and she made a presentation. She had a PowerPoint and everything presentation. So, but we didn't get to see that. And like, that's what I don't feel like I missed anything from it. Like, it was a great presentation. Like, it was like listening to a podcast. It was great. I took a lot of information from it. But, like, she put effort into making that PowerPoint, and then tech gremlins from, like, the Paris tech gremlins said no.
Is that not what tech gremlins do?
Yeah. Hold on. You know the child that doesn't like to comment and chat.
Oh, yes, that one. I was like, are we talking about Hephaestus?
No, that's a different.
Right? Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm reading this aloud. I want to get into writing, but I don't know where to begin because I want to write fan fiction for fun. Okay, so Aunt Cat is a fan fiction gremlin.
Yep.
that is actually where my writing started.
Yep.
Right? So it doesn't have to be good. Especially if, like, so first drafts.
Especially the beginning.
Yeah. Are you 14? Yeah. You're 14. You just turned 14. I love that I'm just like doing math.
And their age keeps changing every year. It's crazy.
I remember the age order, so I actually have to remember the oldest one's age, and then
And
just start
start
going down,
Yeah.
down the list. I'm terrible. I have so many nieces and nephews. It's hard to keep things straight.
It's a good problem.
Actually, that's the age that I published my first fanfic.
Yeah.
2012. By the way, July 12th will be 13 years since I published my first fanfic.
Nice.
It does not have to be good. It can be awful.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, you don't have, like, you can write it just for yourself. You don't ever have to share anything. Never feel the pressure to share it with others.
Yeah.
Unless you want to.
Right.
So July 12th, I published my first fanfic. But that doesn't mean it's the first thing I wrote. And the first fanfic I wrote was not good. If you want, kiddo, I can literally send it to you. And you can, like, read Aunt Kat's first fanfic. That is my first foray into writing. But it was in a world that already existed. It was with characters that already existed. There were already rules that existed. It was, was it the Gallagher Girls or Vampire Diaries? Hold on. We have to go back to fanfiction.net real quick. It's been a while. This is where the very first one is. It's been a while. Which one is it? Managed Stories. Publish date. It was a Vampire Diaries fanfic, by the way.
That's what I thought.
And it was like a Facebook style fanfic. But like on fanfiction.net. So I couldn't like have pictures or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like today, if I redid this, I could like make it actually look like Facebook. Like I could actually make it like aesthetic and like have chat bubbles and like I could do a lot to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, literally this past Wednesday's short story that I published was fanfic.
It was. Lily, do you like Doctor Who? I don't remember if you do or not.
I don't think you have to like Doctor Who to like it because
you like cats. You'll like it.
Yeah, it's like it's
like
about a cat adopting a sentient starship that is about to be retired, and the starship wants to go see the universe and adopts this cat back. And yeah,
it's gonna take me a second because I don't have like the app or anything on my phone because my phone doesn't have a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to actually like look it up the long way.
The long way. What?
Also, I'm terrible at typing on my phone. Like other people can go like this and type, and I'm just like.
I do that too. I was about to say, do I need to just send a link?
Did I not hit enter? I hit enter. Okay. Are you ranking at all on the thingy still?
Only sometimes.
Oh, she does like Doctor Who, so even better.
Even better.
She said Doctor Who books, but I was talking shit, but that's fine. Books are... I've never read the books.
Never read books.
The books. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do it on my computer and send it through Discord and then copy and paste it.
I was about to say, I literally have
You could send it to me. I'm pretty sure. It'd be faster.
there. I just put it in the chat.
Oh, there you go, child. It's in the chat.
It's in the
It's in the
chat.
chat.
That I just literally I set up my social media post I'm going to make on the day to promote it. I still have I just copy and paste it. There you go.
So that is to Glory's Substack, so you don't have to subscribe to it or anything.
Right.
But Glory posts weekly on Wednesdays, fiction words. Mondays is poetry. But this is fanfic. This one, most of the time, is original fiction.
Yeah.
But this case, this last week, it was a fanfic.
This next week, which we'll have.
Next week is also going to be fanfic.
It's a little series.
Yeah. Nice. If you had an AO3 account, I'd tell you to post it on there. Her name is Glory, but my niece said tell the pretty girl that I said thank you.
Well, I know I'm the whole package. Looks, brains, talent. What's not to love, right? Yeah, you can write fanfic about anything.
It could be
right in the direct part of another story world. You can do the side thing like what I did, where people do not think of the TARDIS as a character, but I do. And yeah.
Think of it as a character, actually. Think of her as a character. Specifically her. The TARDIS is a her.
Well, that I think is partly because ships are traditionally supposed to be feminine. And but I was thinking about some things that are canonical in the Doctor Who universe. And about from the episode The Doctor's Wife, where she's yeah, I was a museum piece when I stole you, and the Doctor's what no, I didn't steal you, I borrowed you. She's yeah, no, borrowing implies an intent to return, and what makes you think I was ever going to return you? She says to the Doctor. I'm I stole myself a Time Lord and went off to see the universe, and I thought about that and what if the TARDIS, the Doctor does not like cats. It's canonically known that he's always kind of suspicious of cats. But the Doctor doesn't know everything the TARDIS does, hence how she's got all these desktops archived and she can pull them up anytime she wants, but he doesn't know that. He thinks they're all gone because he is not in charge of the TARDIS. The TARDIS is in charge of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about how, cats are, we joke that cats are interdimensional. And the TARDIS is also interdimensional. So wouldn't it make sense that cats and the TARDIS would get along since they're both interdimensional creatures, unlike the Time Lords that are not? Yes. And why wouldn't the TARDIS have a cat? All ships have cats. All ships are supposed to be feminine and have cats. This is a known fact.
Yeah, because cats, it would make sense to have a cat on a ship or something because they'll home the mice or the rats.
Right. But also because petting, because you're there and there's nowhere to go, and why not have a cute little murder floof purring creature? Why not? And I was just thinking about how why doesn't the TARDIS have a cat? And then I was the TARDIS probably does have a cat. The Doctor just doesn't know because he doesn't even know where the flipping library is, let alone why the library sometimes has a swimming pool in it. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand jack about this ship. He threw the manual into a supernova. That is canon. So therefore, she could definitely have one or more cats, and he'd never know. And what would that look like? What if the TARDIS decided to steal herself a cat? And, that article had just come out about the first cat name in print was Najim in Egypt, in ancient Egypt was the first. And like, that's when they think approximately humans started domesticating cats, which I disagree. I think cats domesticate themselves because they are lazy, and we know that. Because before that, we actually had domesticated foxes for vermin control, but the foxes are bitey. And cats are less bitey. And so, yeah, that the first cats that show up in print or literature is Najim about, I think about either 4,500 to 5,500 years ago. And Najim in ancient Egyptian means sweetie.
I was trying to pet him.
Foolish mortal. You can tell when you're online.
He does. He knows.
Yeah, exactly. The TARDIS would absolutely keep her cat secret because the Doctor is a rent boy. I mean, keep in mind, he does not pay rent. Like, just fine. He's a rent boy. But that's actually not my first Doctor Who fanfic. The first thing I ever came up with fanfic for Doctor Who was I was thinking about the fact that there's this episode of Doctor Who about this Dalek that's, quote, defective and hates and wants to kill Daleks. And the Doctor is supposed to figure out what's going on and, all this. And so he ends up having conversations with this Dalek that he calls Rusty. And the Dalek talks about how beautiful the Doctor is because the Doctor is so filled with hate. And that Daleks are trained, like, that the only thing they find beautiful is hate. And so the Doctor is the most beautiful creature in the world to them. And thinking about that, I was like, what if the real reason the Daleks never successfully kill the Doctor, whereas they do kill all the other Time Lords all the time, is because the Doctor is the most beautiful creature in the world to them. And if the Doctor is, in fact, the most beautiful creature that roams the universe to Daleks, and we know that the Daleks have the Dalek form of the internet, like they have a Usenet to communicate with each other, that wouldn't there be a Dalek zine devoted to sightings and stories about meeting the Doctor?
The Dalek fan site for
it would be a fan site, and it would be about, oh my god, this one time I ran into the Doctor and he nearly killed me and it was amazing, and here is my story. And it would be like Teen Magazine, but for Daleks, fangirling about the Doctor. This time I almost got killed by the Doctor, and he was so beautiful, and he's just as hateful as everybody says, and it's fantastic, like that. And it would be all these firsthand accounts on this Usenet of Daleks talking about their brushes with the Doctor, and it was so amazing, and they're forever touched by his hatred, and they love it, like that, of like, he's the most beautiful creature in the world.
Hello, Bookfire. What are you doing?
Hello. So that was actually the first Doctor Who fanfic I ever came up with. Was like, and that maybe that's the real reason why the Doctor keeps evading being killed by Daleks, is because they're all like fangirling in their little tanks.
They're all too busy fangirling.
Oh my god, it's the Doctor! I can't wait to tell all the other Daleks about this. And they're like, so how like you get starstruck? And that's actually the real reason he always evades them, is because they're too busy being starstruck and also making sure all their recording devices are on so they could report to the fangirling Usenet about their experience with the Doctor, as they all like geek out about this.
Hey!
And that is the real reason.
What are you doing?
And that the Doctor kind of suspects this and is totally grossed out by it. It's fantastic. That's my theory. And that's why even what's his name? Scaro, whatever.
Davros?
Davros, that's it. That's why Davros knows that he can't truly kill the Doctor. He can only mess with the Doctor, or all the Daleks would revolt. Because you killed the most beautiful thing in the universe. How could you? And then just all get depressed and give up the will to live.
Bye.
Nope, missed him.
Nope, he walked away.
But yeah, so that's my personal theory. And
I
Tom
just
thought it was
love
hilarious.
Coffee Bunny. This is like the chaos.
Yes, this is the chaos of like. So that is my personal theory that nobody asked for.
We're here for it though.
But yeah, so we all write fanfic. I think it's theorized that like something like 80 to 90% of all published authors at some point engaged in fanfic, if not continued their whole career to also write fanfic. And like every time you see a new Dracula story,
It's fanfic.
that's not following Bram Stoker's original book,
It's fanfic.
that's fanfic. Every like Carmilla, whatever, is also fanfic.
Every rewrite of an ancient story, like all of the retellings of the myth stories, like Son of Achilles, that's technically fanfic.
Every new version of Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility set like in a different country in different times, that is fanfic.
Yeah.
I love them though. Like, let me be very clear.
Some of the most popular works in the world, in the history of the world, are fanfic.
So, like every Frankenstein-esque story is fanfic. All of there's an incredible amount of fanfic published in, quote, the legitimate presses. So yeah, just about everybody engages in fanfic. It is a normal thing. Pretty much, what is it like? Nearly all Greek mythology is fanfic of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Like, because there's so many versions of the same gods.
And
but,
we
like,
don't even have
stories different. It
we
ends
have lost probably 90%. It is my estimate. We've probably lost 90% of the original myths, of like the myths from the ancient world, because of how they were written, what they were written on, or they were oral traditions that never got written down. And they didn't continue to get passed on because people were like, well, remember, we tell those stories all the time.
Right.
So we don't know all the interpretations of those myths. So who knows? We're still discovering, like, because we do have fragments of things, but they're in a condition, like, we can't analyze them quite well. We don't have the technology to do that without destroying the fragment.
From what
some of them are rolled up and stuff, and, like, they're readable, but how do you unroll it without disintegrating it?
Well, from what I understand, the story of Noah and the flood is actual fanfic of the Gilgamesh story that is several more thousand years older. And so again, there's fanfic upon fanfic upon fanfic, and it's all fun. Have a good time. So I finally got everything set up. Shall we go ahead and do our first little sprinty sprint?
Yeah.
Do.
And I will distribute the lettuce and the kitty cat.
Oh my gosh. The lettuce and the kitty cat. It's gonna be amazing right after I figure out where buttons are. No comment.
That's amazing.
There we go. Look at me finding buttons because I did nothing ahead of time. Ha ha ha.
Don't fix the timer. Leave it at 44. because you stopped it perfectly at 44.
Okay. I shall leave it pristine. All right. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see y'all on the flip side. Me better be. Me better be. Boo bada boo. Boo bada boo bada boo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How did everybody's sprint go?
I was distributing kitty cup and lettuce.
Very important stuff.
And I watched Leverage. So,
I worked on the next Najim story. And got a snack and refilled my coffee. Did all the things. Explained what Twitch is to a friend.
I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, they were struggling to understand.
I'm pretty sure, like, my dad doesn't know where I do streaming stuff. He just knows that it's a thing, and I do it, and I can make a little bit of money from it. He's just like, whatever makes you happy, baby. He's like, that's all that matters.
Yep. Had a lovely little snack, which reminds me I need to update the grocery list.
That is an important thing to update.
Well, especially as it's something that Tom can only get in New Orleans.
Even better reason to update it. For when he visits friends. Oh, so random thing. I went to the store the other day because I owed my mom some money. Because I went I went to TJ Maxx with my mom the other day, and I spent like $140, but like we used her credit card, because she has a TJ Maxx card, and I told her I'd just pay her back because I got paid. Like we went on Tuesday, and we went Monday, and I got paid Thursday. So I just had my stepdad drop me off at the store because they have my ATM like across the parking lot. So I just had to walk across the parking lot because my mom worked at the store. So my stepdad dropped me off at the ATM, and I just walked to the store she works at so I could give her the money I owed her from TJ Maxx. And so but it's like mom had like, that was like 2:00, and mom got out at 4:30. So I just wandered the grocery store for 2 hours.
What could go wrong?
2.5 hours. Well, technically, because it's a superstore, technically. But I found notebook. It's like a spiral bound notebook without the spirals.
Okay, now hold up.
So it's like,
let me see. Show us the edge.
Like, there's no spiral, but it's
a composition.
No,
it's a composition.
This is not a composition notebook. This is a wireless notebook. Composition notebooks are made different. So how they're bound is different. I know. I thought it was a composition when I picked it up, but it doesn't have the binding the way that a composition does, and they're all serrated. They're all perforated, so you can pull them out.
Right.
I've seen them.
Also, you can actually go like this. So basically, it's a wireless wired notebook.
That's literally how the composition books in my childhood were. Like, congratulations, you've all caught up to 1992. I'm very proud of you.
I grabbed it because I was like, oh, that's a cool composition book. And then I was like, why doesn't it say it's a composition book? And then I picked up another composition book and I was like, wait, these are very different.
Yeah, that's why I don't use the composition books anymore, because they stopped being able to fold all the way flat. But yes, once upon a time, they were like that. And we all liked them.
And then they made them like the weird curvy.
Yeah.
Where it was like an actual book binding, but not a book binding, because they did it all like one big bind. It's not like little sections bound.
Yeah. It was more like, it used to be like the non-sticky notepads that had that wax back, and so you could fold it open and use it and pull out a middle piece without messing up the whole thing.
That's how they used to be?
Yeah, things were better in the 80s and 90s. I'm so sorry. Everything you suspected about the 80s and 90s is probably true, including the cocaine. Everybody was doing cocaine. Like, not me, I was 8. But other people, adults, like, they just considered it. Like, I literally would overhear moms talking about, like, so are we getting cocaine for the weekend? What are we going to do? Like, and they're like, I cannot handle another weekend with Fred without cocaine. Like, that's the conversation I used to hear in the late 80s.
Damn.
Like, a lot of drugs were keeping a lot of marriages together somehow. That did not make sense to me as a child. But now I'm like, the straights have never been okay, and I don't know why anyone thought they were. Like, housewives of like, and another one going, oh, I like to set aside a little cocaine for the weekdays when I have to clean. And let me tell you, it makes it so much more fun.
Oh my God.
And you should mix it with wine and you will have a wild time, but don't try to drive. Like, that's the conversation that we never hear.
The housewives of the 80s.
Don't let them like, oh, well, when I was a young mother, I could do all the, like, bitch, she was on drugs. She was doing coke on Tuesdays. Okay? And if she wasn't on coke, she was on diet pills, which was actual methamphetamines. And again, she was riding that wave, having a wonderful time. Do not let her make you think that you can, like, have it all drug-free. That is a fib. And they're definitely, like, editing their memories, their nostalgia, but, like, seriously. And then you're like, oh, but in the 50s, they weren't doing drugs. No, they were doing more drugs harder. They were doing Purple Hearts, which is taking an upper and a downer together to make a wild ride. They were you could literally get methamphetamines out of vending machines back then. No kidding. As well as cigarettes.
And I knew about the cigarettes.
You could get cigarettes. You could also get methamphetamines, and you could get Valium and vending machines next to the cigarettes. They were all in little boxes. And you just
pull, like, a wild thing.
And, like, literally, like, if you were out at restaurants, adults would give you coins to go get their meth or Valium or both before we leave tonight. Like, when they bring out the dessert, here, take these coins, and I want you to get me a blue box and a green box. And then, like, another guy at the next table, oh, if you're going to the vending machine, kid, here, take 2 quarters and get me a box of cigarettes, and you can keep the other quarter for whatever you want. Like, oh, thank you. And just going and, like, literally, like, cigarette girly tables.
My parents owned a bar in the early 90s, and they had one of those cigarette vending machines.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, right when you walked in.
Yeah. I mean, like, no joke. I mean, they still had those cigarette vending machines when I was a kid in Mississippi in the 80s. And, yeah, people would, like, hand me. I would be a random child just walking around a restaurant board. And people random would like, hey, here's 75 cents. Go get me a box of cigarettes real quick. Okay. And, like, here's a dime for the Matchbox. Okay. I'll go get those and just bring them to you. Because, like, if you're a random child, you're immediately put to work. But I loved it because you loved pulling them. Like, it was the coolest thing to pull these vending machines. But yeah, better. And they're like, no. And like sometimes the guy would be like, now I want you to get me the menthols. Okay, they've got the little green strip. Don't give me the Marlboros. Don't give me the red strip. Get me the green strip. Like, okay, I'll get it. Like, but yeah, they used to. And when I was a kid, there were still very few vending machines that would have the drugs in them that you could pull out. You could you had to pay more, so you had to bring a bunch of quarters for those. But yeah,
so writers, if you're writing and your stuff's taking place in the 70s and the 80s, please include this information.
It's at every single bar. Any place where children were not supposed to be randomly running around, even though you could bring children into bars.
Yeah.
If you had your parent or you were with an adult, you could still go into bars. But any place that was considered adult space would have cigarette vending machines. They would have beer vending machines. They would vend all sorts of stuff that you just don't think about anymore.
I mean, I remember, I don't remember what grade I was in when we read it, but we read it was like I think it might have been a memoir unit. And it was like a short story that somebody had written about how their grandmother used to give them money and a note.
Yep.
To walk down to the to the corner store.
Yeah.
And they would give the people the note and the money. And then the people would just give them cigarettes.
Oh, when I was a kid, you didn't even need a note. You could just tell them, I promise.
Well, I think the note had exactly what the grandma wanted.
But I mean, or what one grandma would just call the convenience store and say, I'm sending my grandkid down to pick up my cigarettes. And that was it. You just be, and they would then they'd ask every child who came in, hey, are you here for
this person?
Are you here to pick up cigarettes for Lucille? And you're like, no. And then one time I got told, even though I was not here to pick up cigarettes for Lucille, well, I don't know where her grandkid is. Here, take the box and go to this house. And I'm like, okay. And you just walk to the house. Hi, is Lucille here? I have her cigarettes. And she'd be like, oh, just leave them in the mailbox. I'll get up in a minute. Okay. And in that time, I actually passed the postman who was walking up. I was like, I just put the cigarettes in the mailbox. He's like, oh, well, I would have thought it was for me. The 80s were a while. Yeah. I can't. Just, you cannot imagine.
I 100% understand how the milkman could have been the daddy.
I told you.
Just based on this information alone makes me fully 1,000% believe the milkman was the daddy on so many occasions.
Just things were wild. It was do not listen to people when they tell you, oh, times were simpler then. No. Everybody was just coked up out of their mind. That is not the same as simpler. That just means the drugs have erased your memory. And you're looking at pictures going, oh, it must have been nice. I look happy.
Because you were stoned.
Because you were out of your mind, out of your gourd on a roller coaster ride of drugs. No, times were not simpler. Not when everybody's sleeping around and doing God knows what chemicals. And yes, the lithium was in the Sprite and the 7-Up. And the cocaine was in the cola soda. And everybody was having a grand old time. It was wild. And everybody was doing uppers to clean the house. Sinister
King is out here just telling us about they used to do this stuff too. Just go to this, just be sent with notes. Okay, so speaking of the 80s and stuff. So y'all know this. I believe Carrie was there for this already. It was in the Discord. So you know how I just randomly make hats now?
Yes.
I accidentally made, the strawberry shortcake bonnet?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I knew you were going to.
Is this or is this not the strawberry shortcake bonnet without the strawberries?
Put it on your head. I want to see it on your head. No, just put it over your head. You don't have to.
I just
Whatever. Do your life. I don't care. Oh, there we go. Now you just need the little apron. Now you need the apron and you need the little cap made out of calico fabric.
I'm never wearing it.
I need a ruffle though. Strawberry Shortcake's hat had a ruffle.
She had extra, like, I literally used all the yarn that I had of this.
Do I have to ship you some white yarn?
No, it was, I had gotten, like, it's actually, like, this really fine baby yarn that I got, like, on clearance. So I had, like, a skein of the pink and a skein of the white. And I had gone through the whole pink one, and I was like, all right, let me grab the rest of the white one.
Congratulations. You made a Strawberry Shortcake bonnet. We're very proud of you now. I mean, honestly, I guess you're the one who should have gotten this bag that Megan sent me with strawberries on it.
I'm like, I did not intend to make this.
Disregard all the mess. You don't see anything.
I've just been informed, not the child that messages me, but her sister. She's like, she would so wear this. The little sort of
adorable.
I haven't.
Yeah, look at this like tote bag. It's like, look, it even has an inner pocket.
I
told Megan they won't let you go into the education program here if you don't like tote bags. I'm teasing. That's not true, but it could be. It should be. It should be a vetting, a screening of like, how do you feel about tote bags? And if you say, I hate the very existence of tote bags, you should be denied entry into the upper education program. Like, I'm so sorry.
So also in the office supplies, two things. Another two things. I got a Pilot G2 0.38. It was the only one less than a 0.7, by the way, at the damn store. Because apparently this town doesn't believe in fine point.
Girl.
Stab somebody. Like I have to have this.
I am still on the hunt for another Sharpie 0.38. I have the 0.5s.
They're write and erase pockets. So like you can write on them in pen or pencil and erase it off of these without having to like use whiteout or rubbing alcohol. It'll actually erase. And I was like, well, I didn't need this.
No.
But I have this now. Also, I bought 7 skeins of yarn, of various blue yarn, because I have decided I am making. At first, I was like, I'm gonna make my mom and my stepdad like a blanket, and I'm gonna use the Lion Brand Mandala ombre yarn. It's really pretty in the blue because they both have the favorite color blue. Because originally I was gonna be like, oh, I could just do like granny squares of like various blues and then just like have a his and her side type of thing, or like of their favorite colors, and then they both were like blue. I was like, you bastards, that's just a blanket. That's just a blue blanket. But so when I was at the store, I was like, you know, they both deserve their own blanket.
Okay.
So one is gonna get the Mandala ombre.
Okay.
It's going to be an infinite granny square.
Cool.
Which is the normal thing I do. But then I bought 7 skeins of various blue yarn. And I'm going to make 15 million granny squares and put them together. This blanket is the other blanket's going to be chaos. Send help. Someone stop me. I'm making 3 blankets.
You've already made a Strawberry Shortcake bonnet. There is 0 help coming. This is it. You are in a hell of your own creation.
I'm also
like
making
all other crafters.
I'm also making a cardigan for one of my sisters. It's that baby blue. I'm like halfway done with it. My niece helped me pick for my buttons that I got when I went to the Joanne closing sale. I had her daughter pick the buttons because then at least some of it would be a surprise because my sister hasn't seen it, hasn't seen the cardigan at all, and this way she's like she's not picking the buttons too, type of thing. So many projects. Blanket for my mom and my stepdad each. Plus, I'm making Evan a blanket that's the 17-year-old. And then I'm making my sister.
There's no help coming.
Someone needs to stop me.
Nope.
That's just crochet projects, guys. That's not even like any other project I'm also working on.
Because that's all we can do in a burning world, darling. There will be no help coming. This is it. Welcome to your insanity. At least you will have things to show for it.
What are you staring at, Hephaestus?
The fairies in the corner. Hi, Carrie.
Hi. I've finally been able. Oh my god, like 45 minutes.
I know. I saw.
I'm trying. Yes, Spence.
And then my husband and my brother-in-law get to watch me crash out as I'm like, I'm going to take this computer and I'm going to chuck it out the window.
Baby, I gave you K-cup. You already ate it.
No, that was someone else. That was not.
Or find out where they're shooting off fireworks and have them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blow the whole machine to pieces. But then I'd be SOL and not have a computer. So.
Yeah, that would be rough. I think Carrie might lose her mind then. You wouldn't be able to play Valhalla at all. None controls.
I'm back on a raft kick right now.
Okay.
You also wouldn't be able to run from sharks and bears.
Speaking of bears, I saw a reel of somebody showing their mother made a video of the hummingbird feeder they had bought for their mother. And it's like one of those suction ones on the glass door. And it's just a black bear just drinking out of it. Just 300-pound black bear. And then he wanders off the porch. He's like, it's a very big hummingbird we got.
It was before TikTok. But one of my, when I was in high school, it was like early TikTok in the US, I think.
Sure.
So but this was my art teacher who retired a year later. She on several occasions would wake up and look outside her back window, and there would be bears, baby bears, mama bears. Well, one day she looked out her window and there was a bear laying on its back with the bird feeder going. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it was what? She was like, it was just
let me eat my trail mix. By the way,
I want to say they got in her hot tub.
Yeah. Bears will get it. That's why up north they have like big old padlock hot tubs. Otherwise, the bears will just make it nasty.
They didn't lock their hot tub.
Yeah. So. Did I ever tell y'all about the 2 weeks after Hurricane Katrina? I ended up staying with my in-laws in Butler, Alabama. And I had Cassie back then, my miniature dachshund. And they had 2 chows. Lainey, who was a blonde chow, and let's see, there were so many chows over the years. There was Bobo. I can't remember the other one. Anyway, there was a grumpy one. Anyway, Cassie was adopted by Lainey, who believed that Cassie was just a puppy. Because why would there be full adult size little dog? That just did not compute to Lainey.
My sister had a chow mix for a while. He was a dopey boy.
Lainey was the smartest chow I've ever met. She was very, very smart. Like dangerous smart. Okay. Like husky, very, very smart. And how smart was Lainey? Lainey's hobby was to lay on her back in the enormous sprawling lawn of this palatial estate.
What?
To lay on her back and put her tongue out like she was dead. And wait till birds came to investigate, to like, I don't know, drink her eyeballs or whatever they do. And then she would jump up in the air and snatch him out of the air and bite him in half. This was what she did for fun. This was her hobby. This was her actual hobby. And we knew it was her hobby because you'd find half of a bird all over the lawn and the other half somewhere not that far away. Like, she didn't eat them. She had good food at home. This is just what she just bit them in half. And,
For fun.
This was fun. So she taught this to Cassie. But Cassie,
This is so tiny.
you know, she's a 10-pound dog, right? So you ask yourself, what is Cassie-sized bird? Like, so if Lainey is like a 60-pound chow, and a bluebird is that she could just snap it in half, what is the equivalent for a little 10-pound dog? And Cassie decided the equivalent to a bluebird for Lainey is a bumblebee for her.
Oh,
She would lay on her back with her tongue out until a bumblebee would investigate, which ironically they really would.
How fast is really?
I'd jump in the air and stab him in half, and all I could say is I'm so grateful she never succeeded on a single time. Because what a dummy!
she could have gotten stung.
Redeemed a hydrate on your channel.
Oh, okay.
Can you please not do that?
Cheers. Let us all hydrate.
How fast is Leo? Thank you.
But yes, she used to lay dead to trick bumblebees.
We have a son.
Lainey is also the one who taught Cassie how to bark with her chest. Because Cassie didn't know how to bark. Dachshunds are truly late bloomers. That's why dachshunds look how they do. It's because
why
them so
Lily long. Sounds like a siren.
Yes. Because Lily has not been befriended by a chow chow. To learn how to bark in her chest. So she sounds like a fire alarm.
She really does.
Oh,
look at the baby.
This one will let me pick her up on camera. She's significantly smaller than her brother. Is she not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a normal looking cat.
He's huge.
She's a big one.
And he keeps having growth spurts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what babies do. You still
Yep.
like a baby kitty.
Stretch. Oh.
Is it time to switch?
Yes. I don't have your open, so I can't like click the thingies to complete that search.
I've got it open out there. I've got both of ours open.
Oh, Spence! Look what I got. My dumb ass didn't think how big this was gonna be. 240 colored pencils. There are ones, and the reviews were really good. Like, comparable to Prisma, but, like, you know, a fraction of the price.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I spent, like, less than 50.
Yeah. I had to ask Joe's parents to go in on the big box of Prismacolors for Christmas.
Hephaestus Leo, do not stick your head in plastic. Stop that. Give me that.
It wasn't this past year, it was the year before. I got him the big box, and between his parents and his brother, we split like $150 3 ways.
Well, when I lived at the trailer with Natalie and Caitlin and I together bought Nat one of the big sets. I don't remember which set it was, but Caitlin and I went like 50-50 on one for her as her birthday present. Because like her primary medium was colored pencil.
Right.
And so we knew, and she had one of the small sets, and like they were getting down. So she was like, so she was gonna get another small set, but then I was like, hey Caitlin, do you want to go in with me on this?
Yeah.
Like I would have gotten it for her on my own. It just, would have taken a little longer.
Yeah.
But what are you doing?
We happened to be at Michael's one day, and we were looking at the pencils, and I was looking at the Tombow markers, and he was looking at the colored pencils, and he's kind of like eyeing the spot where the big box of pencils should be, but they're all kept behind the counter because they're like expensive. And he's just like, one day, and I'm like, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Well, shall we go ahead and do our second little spritty sprint?
Yeah.
You okay?
Really?
All right. Well, good luck, everybody, and we will see you on the flip side. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
How did everybody feel though?
I thought about pulling up my document, but I didn't want my computer to crash again.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I was
Try to write
working
before
on
work tomorrow.
getting Najim's next story out.
Excellent. Oh, my niece liked it, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
She told me that. I forgot to say it because it was like, thanks. Right. But she
Well,
did.
then she's gonna like the next one. It's gonna be called A Curious Cat's Guide to Wandering Starships.
Excellent.
Is that not cozy space fantasy enough?
I forgot about flags. Page markers, whatever.
How do we indoctrinate the young into Doctor Who?
Always.
Did I think about the fact that they're currently working on an under 7 Doctor Who animated series? And how I wouldn't be sad to write for them.
I mean, wasn't it originally like supposed to be an educational show? That's how they sold it.
The 60s were wild, y'all. Okay.
That's how they sold it to the network, though. It was supposed to be an educational
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, it's have you ever watched that first season?
I was only able to watch like one.
It's like it's how do I say this? It believes it's educational.
It thinks it is. They sold it as that. That is not what they produced.
No, I think they probably thought it was educate, like because they go to the Aztecs and they go to the Paleo Neolithic, and it's like, wow, choices were made.
I think that's the because in 2013 when they were doing the 50th anniversary stuff, BBC America had like 1 month was each Doctor, and I think it was the Aztec story that I watched the first season.
Yeah, yeah, it's
and I'm like, oh,
choices. Yeah, it's
like the idea of the story was cute.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I liked that, like, the Doctor was, like, falling for this Aztec princess, I think it was, or something. He was kinda flirting with her. But
yeah. But yeah, that's why there's 2 school teachers in the original series, along with Susan and the Doctor.
Yeah, because they were Susan's teachers because she wanted to be like didn't you want to experience the human education or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Choices. Yeah.
Hi, what are you doing?
So there is a YouTube channel called Classic Doctor Who where they're putting out the old ones, but they've edited it so that it's like packaged all together rather than like
yeah, because it was like 4 episodes was one actual episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So they packaged them together, plus they've cleaned up the sound and they've also cleaned up the visuals, like literally run it through color gradients again.
I think it's a second Doctor story that we have on DVD that they only had the sound.
Yes.
So they did an animated version. I think we have one of those on DVD.
Yeah. And they're putting them out and they're free to watch on YouTube. And I've been enjoying them. But yes, I was currently watching the Sensorites one. which is right after the Aztec, and the teachers talk about the trauma they experienced in the Aztec culture. But with the Sensorites, ooh, those masks are fascinating. I don't think that's historical. No, no. Kind of weird. But yeah, it's choices. It's choices. The 60s, I'm just saying, remember, that's also when you could get amphetamines from the vending machine. So, like, at a certain point, it all checks. By the way,
And
Karen.
also, I knew that show was low budget, but
yeah.
a former coworker of mine, when I worked at the grocery store, loaned me, I think it was a Sixth Doctor story, and the monster was just a dude wrapped in green bubble wrap.
Yeah.
It was like supposed to be some kind of insect monster, and like the
No, it's
larva monster
Yeah. And you can literally hear
was
them
a
popping.
dude in green bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, oh.
Yeah. There's an episode I watched as a little kid of the fourth Doctor. And they're in a chase in a warehouse in space. And there's all these boxes, these big boxes, because it's a warehouse. And you can literally see Whirlpool and Maytag on the refrigerator box as they're like doing a laser shootout. They didn't even bother to cover them or tape the names of the boxes. They just literally collected appliance boxes and just had them. Yeah, choices. I mean, like, it does prove that you can do sci-fi on like no budget. On like dumpster diving. Like, you could just do a sci-fi show dumpster diving. And that has its own kind of merit. So that's cool. And it definitely, I think, makes the plots more interesting because you can't use spectacle to distract because you can't afford spectacle. You the best you can afford is a rented dumpster, which I have seen in other episodes of classic Doctor Who where it's like they just rent a dumpster and just paint it pink because I'm pretty sure.
There you go. Spence said it. If you're pretentious enough, you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Just true. So, as said, I like Doctor Who in part because it was always on a shoestring budget. It really forced them to do something with story. Not to say that every storyline has merit, but having those creative confines can be very inspiring to work on stories. So that's it's cool in and of itself. Anyhow, we have been broadcasting for over 2 hours, so it is about time for us to say goodnight, and we will see you all